Alright, cinephiles, time to sharpen your swords. Because I'm coming for a legend today. Ridley Scott hasn't made a truly great movie in over 20 years. Yeah, I said it. He gave us Alien, he gave us Blade Runner, and then in 2000, he dropped Gladiator like a cinematic mic drop. Since then, it's been a lot of big budgets, loud trailers, and not much else. And if you're already typing, but what about The Martian? Hold up. Stay with me until the end, because my last point might explain exactly why his recent work feels so hollow. Before we enter the Coliseum of Controversy, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling me what movie or TV show I should tear into next. This is director Ammar Hejazi, and today we're asking the big question: what happened to the director who once redefined sci-fi, horror, and historical epics, and why hasn't he hit that level since 2000? Let's go back to Gladiator, the movie that slapped us all across the face with slow-motion sand, angry monologues, and Hans Zimmer horns. It was epic, emotional, and actually had a soul. Maximus was a fully realized character. The stakes were personal and political. The story had tragedy, vengeance, and real consequences. But most of all, it meant something. It was a reflection on power, corruption, legacy, and grief. And Scott directed it with passion and grit. That was the last time his work felt genuinely inspired. Since then, a lot of style, and not a whole lot of soul. Let's look at the post-Gladiator lineup. Kingdom of Heaven, great director's cut. But let's be honest, no one saw that version until years later. The theatrical release was a mess. Robin Hood, a gritty reboot that nobody asked for, starring a Russell Crowe who looked like he was one scowl away from retiring mid-scene. Exodus, Gods and Kings, whitewashed, bloated, and somehow made the parting of the Red Sea feel boring. House of Gucci, stylish, sure, but also a tone-deaf meme fest where Jared Leto was apparently in a different movie entirely. These films all have Ridley's signature visual polish, but the heart's not in it. They look expensive. They just don't feel important. Let's talk about The Martian. Yes, it's his best movie since Gladiator. But is it a great movie? Not really. It's fun, it's clever, it's well acted, but emotionally, it's light. The stakes are high, sure, but everything feels safe. There's no edge, no bite, just Matt Damon gardening in space while NASA tries to problem solve with quippy dialogue. It's like a Ridley Scott movie directed by a really upbeat intern. Even American Gangster had potential, but it felt like Ridley was trying to make someone else's Scorsese film. Stylish, but not distinctively him. Now let's talk about Prometheus and Alien, Covenant, the two movies that were supposed to bring Ridley back to his alien roots. What we got instead was philosophical mumbo-jumbo, clunky exposition, and characters making the worst survival decisions since teenagers in a slasher film. And somehow, Michael Fassbender playing a flute to himself became the most memorable scene. Look, Prometheus had ambition, I'll give it that. But ambition isn't enough when your script is a mess and your characters feel like cardboard cutouts waiting to be ripped apart by CGI. Here's the final point, the one that matters most. Ridley Scott hasn't made a great movie in 20 years because he stopped evolving emotionally, but kept evolving visually. He still makes beautiful films, he still knows how to build a world, but his stories have lost their weight. They've become sterile, overstuffed, or just plain empty. It's like he's chasing scale instead of meaning. What made Gladiator, Blade Runner, and Alien great wasn't just the visuals, it was the human element. It was fear, vengeance, identity, grief. It was real emotion in an unreal world. Now, it's like he's on autopilot directing for the poster, not the story. So, is Ridley Scott a legend? Absolutely. But has he made a truly great, lasting, emotionally resonant film since Gladiator in 2000? Not even close. This was director Ammar Hejazi, and if you stuck around through all this cinematic heresy, you have my respect. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your next film target, and don't forget to subscribe for more brutally honest breakdowns.